Hello, welcome to Lunchtime with Liz. I love, love, love all the colors that Stampin' Up! Has. We have lots of amazing colors and the coordination is beautiful, but sometimes I just like to go back to black and white. So I'm going to just share a basic black and white card to you. I just think it's classy, it's elegant, and very simple. And sometimes people say I feel like I can't create enough because I don't have enough of everything. And that is true in some cases, but you can have a black ink pad, black and white, and go for it. And just look how beautiful that is. So let's get started. Again, it's very simple. So I have a white piece of paper, white basic cardstock. This is the basic white. So sorry, the basic white. And we changed names of our white paper, and that's why I was trying to think. I'm like, am I getting the right color? The color now that it's called, or what it used to be called. It used to be Whisper White. Now it's Basic White. So Basic White cardstock is your base. And then I have two pieces of black. And I have one that is 1 by 4.5 inches. And this one is 1 inch by 5.5 inches. So 1 by 4.5 inches, 1 by 5.5 inches. Okay, and that's it of my paper that I need. The stamp sets that I'm using are Daisy Lane, and this is in the annual catalog. It is not a new stamp set. It's in the annual catalog and can also be found on the website, obviously. And then this is a new stamp set. This is called Slim Sayings. It's great with the slimline cards, but obviously I'm not using it for that, so it can be used for other things too. So Slim Sayings is in the mini catalog, the current mini catalog. Daisy Lane is in the annual, the bigger catalog. Both can be found online at stampingontherock.com. All right. The ink I'm going to be using today, let me give you a little change here. This is, I'm going to be using the black StazOn pad, which is, you can get in the catalog, is fine. And then I'm using a white StazOn pad. We do not have this StazOn, this white StazOn anymore, but we do have in the catalog, which is very similar, just a different packaging, is right here. It's on page 129 of the annual catalog, is a white. It's right here, Craft Stampin' Ink, white pad, white refill. These will dry out quicker, so I would suggest getting the refill with it right away. But there's a white craft pad right here. Okay, and this is where the black StazOn pad is also, so those pads are right here on the exact same page on page 129. Okay, so let's put that aside. I'm going to just take my white base, and we're going to fold that in half. I actually didn't score it this time, but use my thumb. And again, you can use your thumb to crease. It's just if you have to do a lot at one time, that gets very sore on your thumb, so the bone folder is awesome to use. All right, and I'm just grabbing this flower out of the Daisy Lane stamp set, and I'm using the black StazOn ink. And I'm going to just stamp flowers right along the bottom. And they're overlapping a little bit, which is no problem. I want to leave a little bit, I want a little bit of white at the bottom. Okay, and that's it. And I would just clean your stamp right away, just because it is StazOn ink and it will stain on there. So just give me 1 second. I had a class today, so my cleaner was out, but on the other side of the table. So I'm just going to clean that off. Okay, we're all good. So let's put that aside. I'm going to let that dry for just a second, okay? And then I'm going to pull in, this is the 1 by 4.5 inch piece. And I'm using my white ink. I'm going to ink up the Happy For You. And stamp straight down and straight back up. These are great inks for this, the craft white ink that you'll have is great for embossing also. So it is a little bit thicker and more wet ink pad. So just give it a second to dry, or if you want to keep moving quicker, you can always grab a heat gun and heat that. I'm just going to let that set aside for a minute. Okay, now I'm going to come back to what I did here, and I'm going to grab some paper snips. And I'm very loosely cutting out around these flowers. Thank you to those of you who have been sending me messages or just talking to me about how you've been enjoying the videos and things you've learned through the videos. I love that. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you. It just makes me feel like I'm being helpful to you. Get rid of that piece. Okay, now I have this piece here. I can go ahead and if you wanted to, you could attach it to the inside bottom like this. Right like that. So that your card opens. I actually want to have all that white space in the bottom for writing on. So I'm not going to do that. Let me show you how I'm going to attach this. I'm just adding adhesive to the right side. It's on the top half on this upside. And then I'm going to just lay this down inside here. Okay, and then I'm going to close the card on it. Remember, the adhesive is on the top here. And I'm going to close the top part right onto it. And press that down. And again, the black might be a little bit wet, so I'm just going to be super careful with that. I'm going to flip it over and press down this way. Okay. And someone had told me recently that when I do my cards, I always get things right the first time. I don't, because look what's happening here. I'm not sure if you can see it here, but my black piece didn't get cut exactly the right length. So if you open this up here, can you see how the black ends and I still have white there? That does look great. So what I'm going to do, it's such a small little bit that nobody's going to get your card and measure exactly to see if it's the 5.5 inch length that it typically is. So what I'm going to do here, because I just don't like that little bit of white that hangs off. So you just learn to fix little mistakes you make, no big deal. So I'm going to take that and just put it inside the paper trimmer. Bring this down, make sure you're seeing it. And then I'm going to cut that off. We're going to throw this part away. And now look. It's all exactly the length it's supposed to be. I trimmed that off. Nobody knows the difference. It's all good. Okay? So there's typically a way that you can fix your quote-unquote mistakes. Not a big deal. All right, so the sentiment piece here, I'm going to grab some dimensionals. Put that on the back. I'm going to pull these off of here. My brand new floor in my office has some dimensional backings on it, so it has been officially christened, which is awesome. And then I was going to put it up here because that's how I did with this card. It's up at the top. But I don't know if you can see in the camera or not, but I have some black flecks down here that I really just don't like. So instead of just having them there and let it be, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my sentiment and I'm going to put it down here over those flecks. And then no one is going to see that I had little black markings on my card. Again, I turn it over on the back to press everything. And there we go. So it's a little bit different than my first one, but it's all good. So if you have some mistake, some ink somewhere where you didn't want to where you wanted it to be, move your sentiment, move it around, or you grab some embellishments, put some embellishments over it. But this is the black and white card for today. This is when you open it up, you still have the whole space to write. That's your idea for the day. Give it a try. Talk with you later. Bye-bye.